A major Milwaukee Brewers free agent decision has seemingly already been made with Freddy Peralta, according to recent reports. We're going to be breaking that down, as well as going over Shelby Miller and what we saw from him in the last Brewers game, as well as Jacob Misiorowski. We are seeing some special things once again from this Brewers team. We're going to be breaking it all down here on the video, going over everything. Before we do jump into everything we have here today, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to hit the sub button if you haven't already. We are very close to 1,000 subscribers, and your support has been absolutely incredible. We also know still that 98% of you guys watching right now have not hit that sub button, so be sure to do so, and we get all of your Brewers news right here as it happens. But we need to jump straight into this. I want to first touch on Freddy Peralta before we go into the game, and we also have an update on the 2026 schedule that was released yesterday, and a very interesting spot of that you won't want to miss here at the end of the video. But let's jump straight into Freddy Peralta, getting into him. And right now, looking at what we've been seeing, I want to show you his stats really quick and take a look at what the quote has after. Now, of course, this year has been a career year. Now, going over the last few seasons, Freddy Peralta has been an absolutely phenomenal pitcher, has been very consistent, but this year, something seems to be clicking a lot more, and we're seeing Freddy Peralta be one of these pitchers that teams aspire to have, and that's no surprise as to why the Brewers have been so good, why he's been so good, and why he is a hot commodity heading into this year's free agency. Now, going into what we have and going into all of our quotes here, going into what we're seeing right now, this one comes from Mark Feinstein of MLB.com. He says, Freddy Peralta has excelled since taking over the Brewers ace this season, going 15-5 with a 2.68 ERA in 27 starts. This might be the most obvious call of any club option listed. The Brewers will absolutely pick up his $8 million deal for 2026. Now, there's been reports about trades going down with Freddy Peralta, anything like that. Now, those really seem to be off the board as Mark Feinstein, someone very familiar with the situation across the entire MLB, pointing out that the club option seems to be the most obvious thing for Freddy Peralta, and 100%. I'll pull those stats back up just to kind of keep in mind what we're seeing. A 2.68 ERA from a starting pitcher who is 15-5 and has 27 starts. Those are phenomenal numbers, and there's no doubt for $8 million that he will have the best value for pitching production in the MLB. Now, going over, and of course, you can't just look at ERA. You look at everything else. He's been a very consistent player, very, very good, and the earned runs that he's had this year, and not just the earned runs, but the runs alone, have also been very, very low. With the highest WAR of his career at 4.5, he's shown that he's deserving of a contract. But if the Brewers can pick him up for $8 million, you absolutely do that without a doubt. Now, also kind of taking a look at the rotation, this is another reason why this is moves absolutely must happen. When we're looking at next season, what could happen? There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the rotation. We know that Brandon Woodruff, Jose Quintana, both are options to leave. That's one thing that we know that we've been really keeping an eye on. That's why it's so important from what we've been seeing from Logan Henderson, Jacob Misiorowski, Quinn Priester, also Freddy Peralta. You don't want to get rid of another guy who's been here for a little bit longer, a little bit of a longer tenured player, and leave it to just some young players. And this is a big part of why the Brewers rotation is so good, to see the depth that you have down there. And there certainly will be options, I think, for the Brewers to make some more moves. And we're going to talk about that, of course, later on in the offseason. Right now, the Brewers are still in the midst of a major, major season, and hopefully a very successful one at the end of the day. But coming into this, they have a lot of decisions to make on the pitching, and I think a lot of what we're going to see for the remainder of the season will have a lot to kind of go off heading into next year and also the offseason. So let me know what you think about Freddy Peralta. I feel like it's a stupid question, but do you want to keep him? Would you be okay with paying the $8 million? I know it's a little bit of a crazy question to kind of ask, but I think that this is something I want to get your guys' opinion on too, just because the sheer steal that this would be for the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, I kind of want to touch on last game a bit as well. Going around the topic of pitchers, going into it, we saw the real kind of start of Shelby Miller's legitimacy last night with against the Diamondbacks, with the Brewers this time. He's been a pitcher that we acquired at the deadline. A lot of people were very excited about it, me included. I love Shelby Miller. He really hasn't seemed to catch that kind of wave yet with the Brewers. But last night, I think, was really the time that we started to see that. Last night, getting the win, also going one and a third inning, 2 strikeouts, 2.40 ERA. You got to remember, that's a very, very good stat line for a reliever as well. But he shut that game out last night with 1 hit. Really gave us the walk-off opportunity for a major win. But when you go up to it as well, Jacob Misiorowski, 4 hits, 10 Ks. This is the guy that we know, that we love, that we see day in, day out, absolutely dominating. Good to see him back at his full form, especially now being over his innings pitched, career high a lot of uncertainty was there of, will his arm be able to take it? Will he be able to hold it? And it certainly seems like he can. It certainly seems like he will continue to do that. And I think that IL stint for his shin, remember, was a very good idea to keep him there. Give that arm a rest. Don't even throw. Just let him do that. I think it worked out very, very well. With 10 Ks, 1 home run, 3 earned runs, that is what it is. You see the team come in here and absolutely dominate after that. But, middle of it, we're going to see some different stuff on the bullpen day in, day out, especially the way that we've seen this Brewers bullpen kind of work. You're getting 1 inning. That's pretty much it. And a bit of a different one here in this game, but it worked out very, very well with Jacob Misiorowski and Shelby Miller. Now, I also want to touch on the hitters real quick as well, the order for this game. Not going to dive too much into this because, of course, it is only the second win of this series. We have 2 more yet to go tonight and tomorrow, and these are going to be 2 very important games as well, especially heading into the Blue Jays series where the Cubs are still a very hot team as of late. You need your wins, and you're going to get them. But this team right now absolutely showed that. You're seeing up and down the lineup, just about everybody, once again, getting a hit, apart from Brandon Lockridge, who didn't even have an at-bat in that instance, but also going down to Isaac Collins, someone who has been phenomenal all season. He's sitting 1 game or, having a struggle 1 game, absolutely fine. He is currently listed as the favorite for the NL Rookie of the Year, so, I think that goes to show itself how good and how important he's been to this team. But we do have a very busy, like I said, rest of the month now. 2 games against the Diamondbacks, 2 of those here. 1 today, 1 tomorrow. The Blue Jays for 3 games before we head into the month of September. And these are going to be 3 games that are, not 3 Blue Jays games that are going to be very, important. Not necessarily going to have a major impact directly if a win-loss for them, but the Cubs, if they continue to win, and I'm not sure who they're playing over these days, but we need to get some wins against the Blue Jays, especially while, we're getting up. We're getting wins, and especially these 2 games that we're playing here today and tomorrow, we need to get some here too. So continue this win streak, go on to it here tonight, and go into a major September. And, of course, we got a lot of stuff to cover there. But I do have one more thing before I want to finish this video off, and this is the schedule for 2026 in September. Now, this is, once again, another very, very heavy series. The Cubs, the Reds, the Cubs again, the Reds again, the Pirates, the Orioles, the Phillies, the Cardinals. Now, assuming that everybody here on this list is playing up to their capabilities and, you don't see no funny stuff going on next season, this is going to be a very, very challenging month of September. Now, of course, this Brewers team going to be probably looking a little bit different, but I'd say most part the same, and I think this is going to be something that we're going to have to wait and see. This is a year's time away, and this team can change a lot then. The MLB can change a lot then, but this is just something I want to pull up. The Brewers are not getting it easy near the end of the season, especially this year after winning and having that major win streak. They're showing the MLB that, hey, we got a challenge, we're able to do it. So the MLB seems to be setting us up for a very exciting yet stressful month of September in 2026, but it's only a matter of time until we see where we are. We have to focus on this year first because we have some big things coming. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. Let me know what you think about this kind of interesting stuff regarding Freddy Peralta here at the beginning of the video. I'm very curious to see what you think about that, as well as kind of the rotation going forward. But like I said, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.